Jai Gurudev, Namaste, good evening. So let us start our session with prayer. Please sit straight and gently close your eyes. Keep your head, neck and spinal cord in one line. Samam Kaya Shiro Gribam. Take one deep, long breath in. Breathe out. Now we'll recite Om 3 times. Breathe in. Om. Om Sehna Bhavatu Sehnau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Contemplate upon the meaning of this prayer. Once again, take one deep, long breath in. And while exhaling, slowly open your eyes. Namaste, Jai Gurudev. So friends, yesterday we were discussing about the whenever we are following the yamas and niyamas, during that time, some of the thoughts, you may say, instinctual thoughts, sometimes they come to the surface and they disturb, because Maharishi Patanjali said that whenever such thought comes to the surface, during that time we have to cultivate the opposite thought, Pratipaksha Bhavana. This practical method yesterday we have discussed. It was discussed that whenever, if this force is mild, then the defense reaction, if mind is properly aligned towards the goal, then there's the defense reaction. So mind takes what you call that kind of attitude and immediately counter that impulse, which is a negative type of impulse that comes from the, if it is a mild, it can be tackled with the defense reaction immediately. But if that thought is, say for example, medium type. So then there is a substitute. We have to cultivate the substitute. What is that? When sometime anger comes, immediately if we cultivate the love, so that is means we are substituting that with the help of this. It helps us because this comes from it is a strong what you call the current of that impulse which comes from the bottom part. Whenever we are trying to follow the ahimsa, satya, asteya, this brahmacharya and parigraha, these forces, destructive forces you may, instinctual forces we may say, they come to the surface and they disturb, and Patanjali calls them vitarka. So during that time we have to cultivate the substitute. Anger, if there is a anger, we have to cultivate the love. So likewise, it can overcome. But if it is an intense degree, because they are coming from the bottom part, because of the previous samskaras, and there is a great pull, it needs a sublimation. So 3 types. But what is that? First of all, defense reaction. Mind takes that attitude. You are capable to overcome that. Other one is the substitute. You are creating some other thought. In anger comes, then you are cultivating the love during that time. And you are successful to a certain extent to subside. But if it is a strong pull, it is coming from the bottom part, unconscious part or subconscious part, then it needs sublimation. And that formula we have learned that with a view to attenuate the grip of this all, what you call the kleshas, Andri has given us the formula that with the help of this Kriya Yoga, we can attenuate, we can weaken the grip. And then Dhyan Heyastad, with the help of Dhyan, we can remove this what you call, and Dhyan can lead us towards the what you call the Patipas Prasava, Yaha Sukshama. Then the subtle aspect of these kleshas can be overcome with the help of the Prasava, that is a counter evolution which we have discussed. When the effect goes back to its cause. So that this is the formula by which we can overcome. Here, the sutra is to be understood properly. Then Patanjali says, these are the vitarka, means negative thoughts, all opposite of ahimsa and what you call ahimsa, hinsa, satya, asatya, brahmacharya, abrahmacharya, all opposite. Yamas and niyamas, all opposite we have to take. Whenever we are trying to follow this, then because of the previous sanskaras, sometimes there is a great pull and it disturbs our abhyasa, our anushtana, whatever. So during that time, it says, first of all, we will not be able to overcome these unless we understand the root cause of these. And if we try to suppress and repress these thoughts at the superficial level, it may harm more. It may be harmful, more harmful. Therefore, with the understanding we have. Say, for example, suppose you are following ahimsa and there is a thought of ahimsa, you think to harm someone. So, whenever one thinks to harm, it means he is harming himself first. Whenever you think of harming someone, it means that your BP will be high during that time. Likewise, if we think in that line, Patanjali says these are coming from because of the lobha, krodha, moha purvaka. Here in the Sutra 34, here you see vitarka, hinsadaya, kitkarita, anumodita, lobha, krodha, moha purvaka. Purvaka means they are preceded. These negative thoughts are preceded. These negative thoughts are preceded either by lobha, either by krodha, either by moha, infatuation. Krodh is angerness, lobh is greediness. So because of this, so we have to counter this three aspect I have discussed. If it is a mild mridu, then there is a defense reaction and you may counter that. But if it is a mild, then you may substitute. But if it is an intense degree, adhimatra, then you have to sublimate slowly. You can overcome this with the help of Kriya Yoga, with the help of Dhyan. There are many methods, and then thereafter the Pradipraspa. Now here, this Mridu Madhya Adhimatra in this direction we have understood. Now, if lobh is, if your greediness is a Mridu, is a mild, if your krodh is mild, if your moh is mild, then you will be able to counter, means harm someone, but at the not to that extent. But if it is an intense degree krodh, lobh, we may, and that is what is going on in the society. You know, we are here only because of the material, this properties. Someone is killing someone others. You know, it is an intense degree, but the sadhaka should think that if I am not aligned with, if I am following Satya, what are the results that we are going to discuss now? So, if we are not aligning to the truth, then ultimately, if you speak the lie, you will speak thousands of lies, and ultimately it will lead you to ananta dukha. No, means endless pain and misery. If we think in that line, then only we will be able to overcome this. This is a practical method given by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra 33. Whenever this badha, whenever this impediment, this hindrances, obstacle comes, such type of obstacles, when they come, what we have to do, we have to cultivate the opposite thought. While creating this opposite thought, we have to pay attention that these all negative thoughts are coming because of the lobha, krodha, moha. These are because the lust, greed, anger, all these the inner, what you call the impurities. Because of this inner impurities, these thoughts are coming to the surface, and we forget, or we are distracted by practicing these yamas, following these yamas and niyamas. So this is the formula given by Patanjali. Let us understand what are the benefits, although we have already discussed in the context of Ashtanga when we were discussing, but here little bit. Ahimsa pratisthayam sannidau vairatyaga. One who follows this ahimsa means mansa, vacha, karma. At the thought level, at the speech level, at the action level. And if one gets established in this, following this, Sannidau, in his vicinity, Vairatyaga, there will be no animosity. No one will harm. Meaning, whosoever is coming in the vicinity of a person who is the follower of this ahimsa, then he will leave this all animosity, means the thoughts, in front of such people. This will not come up. They will not surface. This is what is the result of ahimsa. Only one thing is to be kept in mind: ahimsa cannot be followed unless we have love and compassion. These are the two virtues. If we are the follower of these two virtues, love comes only when you have an understanding of your existence. Yes, someday or other you are a part and parcel of this cosmos. If this kind of understanding is, then only that love comes. Otherwise, it is what you call the conditional. And then the compassion only comes. We understand the compassion when someone you see unhappy, you feel pity. Compassion comes to the surface immediately. Although you have a background that whatever the person is suffering because of his own deeds, but in your heart, because you have purified to that extent, and so the karuna comes to the surface immediately. At least you pray for such people. So the ahimsa can be followed by by the person who have developed this kind of understanding, love and compassion. These are the two things, and only then only this ahimsa can be. Satya pratisthayam kriyafal acharyattva. Today I have heard Gurudev about this Satya, and Gurudev said, Sat is unchanging, as in Bhagavad Gita, also for Lord Krishna says for himself, Abhay, unchanging. Satya is unchanging. Rest, everything is changing. So Satya Pratishtha, if we align ourselves to that Satya, then there's no need to speak the lie, We are speaking lie only for the changing things, Each, this body is changing, everything is changing in this world. So if we understand, if we align ourselves to that Satya, then Kriyafal Ashriyatvam. Not only that, whatever you speak, it will come. Whatever the action you perform, that action will be what you call bears the fruit immediately. That is what Kriyafal Ashriyatvam. Yeah, whatever the action you do, it bears the fruit immediately. And that is what that Karmasu Kaushalam, that is what is the Kaushalta, That is what is you are perfect in whatever. So it means that we have somewhere or other, we have to learn to align ourselves with this Satya. And if we speak the truth only, then whatever you speak, as that day I was talking, that if you say someone happy journey, if you speak, the people who are the follower of this Satya, those who have aligned themselves with this Satya, unchanging phenomena, whatever they speak, whatever they do, it bears the fruit immediately. So again, Asteya Pratisthayam Sarvaratnopasthan. Asteya, that day I was talking, that Asteya means stealing. So stealing is not only the substance, you thought level. In the academic world, there is a now plagiarism kind of things, and there's a software came up now. So stealing comes only, this thought of stealing comes only when we compare ourselves with others. Once you think that whatever you have at your disposal, it is earned by you. No one else is responsible. Whatever you have at your disposal, it is earned by you, and you should know that. And the other one is, if the other person is having something good, it means he has earned that. So keeping that in mind, if we do not go in comparison, then there is no thought of what you call the stealing at the thought level, at the physical level, at the speech level even. And whenever, whatever you need, Sarvaratnopasthanam, everything will be provided to us by this Mother Nature if we follow this Asteya in our day-to-day life. This is most important. Everything, Sarvaratnopasthanam, whatever you need, whatever your need, that will be fulfilled by this Mother Nature. Everything is being provided to us by Mother Nature. But if we compare ourselves, then again we have this thought, and then we are going towards that direction, and ultimately we are lost in that. So Sarvaratnopasthanam, everything will be provided to you by this Mother Nature if we follow this. Brahmacharya Pratisthayam Virila. Now, there are 2-3. The meaning of this Brahmacharya. Brahman Prati Iti Brahmacharya. Brahma is nothing but energy. So, somewhere or other, we have to learn to restore the energy. Particularly in Ayurveda, there is 2 types of ojas. What is that? Apara ojas. It gives strength to the physical body, and therefore there's no disease at all. And this pra ojas, it gives what you call the mental strength. Pra ojas gives to the mental. There is a mental strength, and there's no mental problem. And then only it leads us towards the spiritual side. So mind has that strength. So somewhere or other, energy is not being wasted by one sensory organ, but almost all the organs. Therefore, we have to learn to restore the energy. One who get established in this aspect, then there is a bigger, is a bigger enthusiasm will be increased, and you will be able to, as I said, that there will be no physical problem as well as there's no mental problem. And when there's physical and mental both aspects are integrated, then you can you can early you can move towards that side, samadhi side, or what you call the vivek nimana side, that stream which we were discussing. So this is a very, very important to learn. Somewhere or other, energy is to be restored. This, in Ayurveda, as I said, that this ojas is representing other. This Vata, Pitta, Kapha. These are the three concepts. So Vata is the pranic energy, actually speaking. It is a pranic energy. Vata is a tejas, tejas, Agni, what we used to call it. And this is a Kapha is nothing but it is a ojas. So ojas had the sapta dhatu. Ojas comes in the sapta dhatu. And Ayurveda divides this. If we restore the energy, then this apara energy, apara ojas is helpful. They have divided this ojas into two parts, apara and para. Apara ojas is help us to keeping this body intact. It increases the strength of the body. Therefore, there's no disease. In other words, it increases the immunity. What nowadays the word people are talking about, the immune power is increased, so there's no what we call the disease or disease. And this para is also the mental, that, and then only one can elevate towards the spiritual side also. This is very, very important, but people have misunderstood. When we were talking about the 10 yamas and 10 niyamas, so Vishishta, when Vishishta talks about brahmacharya, he has given a liberty. Although Patanjali and Mahavir and Buddha, they have not given this what is called the liberty, or they have not given any option. They say that it is to be followed because these yamas, they are producing what you call the peace and happiness at the individual level, at the social level, or the national level, or the international level. So somewhere or other, therefore these yamas are said to be the universal code. Wherever we are, we have to do it. So now coming to the what you call the aparigraha. Aparigraha is a possessiveness. Means you are collecting things, and this aparigraha. Say for example, yesterday I was talking that today we are earning, and whatever we earn, we think that this is my earning, I have earned this. Friends, in our Indian culture, we have three types of rena. Rena means debt. What you call the Rishirian. Rishis who have developed their vision with the help of this yoga practices, and they have seen that knowledge, which was available in the space. That knowledge they have seen. Rishirian, because they have given us this knowledge. So we are talking about that knowledge, and we are trying our level best to follow this knowledge. And it is a rena. It is a debt. So that is Rishirian. Then Devarena. And then Pitririan. These are the three renas. So we cannot think that whatever I am earning, it is my earning. There are so many. At this moment, we are using this platform, what we call Google Play, this Zoom platform for, and therefore we are connected with each other. Many scientists, they have given, or the technologists, they have given their best, and they have contributed to this. So somewhere or other, there is a kind of debt somewhere we have to. And yesterday I was talking, there's one institution, it's the NGO, Manashakti Kendra, it is in Lonavala, Manashakti Kendra, there is a rule, 6% of your earning should be given to the social cause. This is a niyam, That way, if we learn this slowly, we can develop that kind of detachment towards this possessiveness, and we can follow this non-possessiveness in our day-to-day life. And this is said that if you follow this and if you get established in this, then what happens? You will be able to understand the whole story, why you have taken this birth, what is the reason behind. As at the end, when the person is in the deathbed, and the whatever the last thought comes in his mind, accordingly he takes the birth in that. Whether there are in Bhagavad Puran also, some you may take the birth of a deer, there's this story. Deer, you can take birth in the form of a deer, in the next. Is only because of this possessiveness, only because if we go on collecting things, it becomes the cause. And last time, whatever is in your mind, and that people used to say in villages, if you go to the villages, people say, ये सांप बन करके बैठ गया फिर से आकर के अपनी इस पे इतनी इकट्ठा कर लिया धन उसने, ये सांप बनेगा अगले जन्म में, ऐसा लोग यूजुअली गांव घरों में कहते हैं. So this is what you will be able to, if we follow this अपरिग्रह, not परिग्रह. परिग्रह is जमा करना, अपरिग्रह जमा करने की वृत्ति होना. Whatever is needed, that much, rest of the things, it belongs to the other. So if you give it to others, then this will. As I said, that this example of giving this 6% out of whatever we are earning, so that if we develop this kind of thought, then slowly we will be able to follow it, and we will be able to understand why this birth we have taken, what is the cause behind it. So all yamas are said to be these are the ethical codes actually. And so the rest one is the benefits of yamas. So whatever these yamas are said to be the self-discipline. If we follow this, it will help us to develop that kind of peace and happiness in the society, That is what therefore the yamas are said to be the universal. The first one is shauch, which is of two kinds, external and internal. So external we all know. Internal is very, very important, wherein it is said, shauchat swang jugupsa. When one understands, when we are being discussed with the impurities of our own body, then no one will run towards the other body. Today, I have heard from Gurudev. Gurudev said that there are you prohibit to touch the other body when you are having this, because it helps nowadays in this pandemic situation also. At least 2 gaj ki duri, we have to social distance is to be maintained. This helps us somewhere. So this is what is long back in 200 BC, Maharishi Patanjali has said somewhere. We have to keep that distance, because our aura, our vibrations, whatever we have created, so it will be maintained. Otherwise, it will be disturbed. So you may be disturbed. Therefore, it is to be. And parid asansar. Most important, this is a physical aspect. If we keep this in mind, it helps us a lot. Inner purity, if we follow, what happens? Sattva shuddhi. Sattva means antakar. Antakar means this is a man buddhi ahankar. This is said to be antakar. Sattva shuddhi. Now here says saumanasyata. Then comes the means calmness and quietness, clarity of the mind, cheerfulness of the mind. And when your mind is cheerful, then only ekagrata comes. Ekagrata. And once there is ekagrata, indriya jaya, then only you will be able to get mastery over your senses. And then another abilities, then indriyas are uh, introverted, then indriyas are controlled. If they are mastered, then Atma Darshan Yogita. This is what is the benefit of this Shaudya. And therefore, it is not the external Shaudya, the external purity or cleanliness, it is internal. It is a Kabir has said otherwise, Nahay dhoye kya kare, jab man ka mail na dhoye. So what is the use? So that is what Vitarka, Lobha, Krodha, Moh, all these are said to be the inner impurities. These impurities are somewhere or other to be eliminated. Then comes the Santosha. Santosh means the contentment. Anuttama Sukhlava. We are getting pleasure, out of our sensory objects, out of the sensory objects we are. But here, Mahesh Patanjali says, Santosh Anuttama, unparalleled Sukha. Unparalleled Sukha. One gets this, which is not comparable with the sensory pleasures we have. So that kind of samadhan, contentment. So if we are contented, we have to try, and if we are contented whatever we have at our disposal, then it gives you unparalleled sukha, which cannot be compared with the sensory pleasures. And tapas, if you follow kaya indriya siddhi, kaya means the body and indriya, the sense, all sensory organs. So you will be able to, if all impurities are eliminated with the help of, because tapas is a purificatory process, and that we have discussed in detail. That tapas is mauna, is a fasting, or pranayama, asana, whatever you do, Vastrika, Sudarshan Kriya, whatever we do, it purifies our all impurities. And when these impurities are purified, then only we get mastery over our body as well as our indriya, our sensory organs. Swadhyayat Isht Devta. Swadhyaya is a self-study. It is not so easy. That question comes. When we go on these holy books, holy mantras, when we go through this, and then only the question comes, why I am here? What is the purpose of life? And then only you think about, this inner journey starts thereafter. So whatever you do, whatever you want, that can be achieved with the help of Swadhyaya. It is a Samprayoga, wherein all Samprayoga, when Swadhyaya Ishta Devta, Samprayoga, when you will be able to achieve that, whatever you want to achieve with the help of the Swadhyaya. Samadhi Siddhir Ishwar Pranidhana. Ishwar Pranidhana. Pranidhana is a total surrendering at it. What happens sometimes? We are thinking that we are the doer. One thought is to be practiced in day-to-day life. What is that? Na ham karta, hari hi karta. Whatever, hari hi karta. You, with your own efforts, you can do something, but ultimately, the master or that whatever is the highest power, that can help. Without the grace of master or without the grace of that higher power, samadhi cannot be achieved. Whatever the practice you are doing, it will be, means your practice will be futile if there's no what you call the grace of a master or the grace of the higher power. So let us think that we are all an instrument, because this doership is ultimately the cause of our all suffering. So long we are thinking that I am the doer, then this becomes the cause of our all everything. So once we think that I am not the doer, so it is happening because of the will of God or the will of Master. When we think in that line, then only we can reach to that state of integration, total integration, when our head, heart, and hands, they can go together. So this is what is the what you call the benefits of. Patanjali does not talk about whether you have to follow. He is not instructing that you to follow this. No, He says that if you follow, this will happen. It is up to you because you are given that ability. You are endowed with an ability to choose. The choice is your. If you follow ahimsa, in front of you there will be no animosity. Whosoever will come in front of you in your vicinity will somewhere or other get some solace. That is what Patanjali says. It is up to us. Choice is our what we want to choose. So today we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll start with the asana. So please sit straight and gently close your eyes. कोमलता से आंखें बंद कर लीजिए. Long deep breath in. Exhale deeply. Now we'll recite our prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Once again, take one deep, long breath in. And while exhaling, slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for your patience.